it all works together better if your eye is on the right thing. And I, I guess nobody's ever said this to me, but I hope my clients expect me to have enough time to constantly be pushing the envelope and getting smarter without any client to pay for that time, right? So
That's brilliant. Okay, that's a great segue. Let's talk about your most recent book, The Business of Expertise.
mhm.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's my fifth book. Only three of my books have been any good. So fortunately, this was one of the good ones. I sat down to write it. I'd outlined it all, and I went to our cabin in the woods and I was writing it. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm just boring myself to death writing this thing. I was intending it to be about 130,000 word kind of, I don't know, a textbook about running a firm. And so I just stopped it, looked for a long walk, and said, I've got to start to feel passionate about this. So, first of all, it's got to take more risks. I've got to be more myself in this situation. It needs to be shorter. It needs to be color. It needs to be illustrated. And I want to stand for something. And so I turned it into more of a passionate expertise manifesto. And the book starts out by recalling that scene in A Beautiful Mind where John, the character, is seeing all of the code roll down the wall, and he sees the patterns. And that was the springboard for the whole book. What makes you an expert, and how do you develop that expertise, and how do you sell it, and how do you refine it, and everything around being an expert, and sort of the business of expertise. Now, it's really designed for people who are a certain kind of expert. So it's somebody who's selling their thinking for a living.
Okay.
There are a lot of experts who are not entrepreneurial, scientists working for an association, whatever, and there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are not selling expertise as well. This is just that overlap between those two things: experts who are selling their thinking for a living. And it got a slow start, slower than I thought, but the sales of the book have just gone up and up more every quarter, and I've just been so pleased with the reception of the book. I ultimately write books. I hope they're successful. I don't want to lie about that. I really do hope they're successful, but mainly I write them to figure out what I think about a topic, because again, I hate to be embarrassed publicly. So if I'm going to put something out there that anybody can critique, I better have thought through it enough that I can stand behind it. And that's what a book is for me. It's a massive commitment. It's a stand. This is what I think about this. And I'm happy to talk about it with anybody. And I'll adjust my thinking for sure, but hopefully I've spent enough time with the subject to have formulated some things that are going to stick for a while.